If you're looking to slash your bookie's throat right across the jugular and have him bleed out a slow, painful death so he can't support his wife, children, and even pets, well, if that's what you're looking to do, well, I'm not your guy. I just do this stuff for fun. But anyway, welcome to the show. Brock Page here. Random sports picks out of boredom. Let's take a look at the Thursday night game, Tennessee at Pittsburgh. We got ourselves an 8:25 Eastern kickoff at Heinz Ketchup Field, right next to the Rivers Casino. They have a full and complete mix of table games, machines, and pie gal for your post-game festivities. Free garage parking for Gold Club members during all Steeler and Pitt Panther home games this year. The Steelers open up the betting in this one as the 6-point favorites, and the total at 43.5. Since the betting opened up, I'm a little surprised as to the line movement in this one. Right now, Pittsburgh's taking the early money along with the over. Currently, the Steelers are minus 6.5 with the total moving upward to 44.5. And at the moment, the Steelers are the money line favorites to win this one outright. Look for Tennessee to take some money here in the next day or so. They've been backed by the public money all year long. As a matter of fact, unless we have a catastrophic 7-point flip of the lines, this will be only the second game this season that the Titans were catching points. Therefore, at least look for that line to close a little bit tighter to that original opening line. And if you're betting sides in this one and you're leaning toward the Titans, my only question to you is, why? Let me know in the comments section below. The only reason why I'm baffled is because this Titans squad has covered just 3 of 9 games on the year thus far. They've also covered just 1 of 4 when traveling, and just 2 of 5 against teams giving up less than 21 a game. That breaks down to a measly 33% overall and 25% on the road covering. More recently, this Tennessee ball club has failed to cover the spread in their last 3 straight. They're going up against a Pittsburgh team who's done just fine against the number themselves. The Steelers are 5-4 ATS on the year and 2-1 covering at Heinz Field. Even more impressive, the Steelers team against the spread has gone 2-1 as the official home favorite and a perfect 3-0 against teams over 500. This Pittsburgh team has also been real hot as of late, winning their last 4 consecutive and covering in 3 of their previous 4. All in all, the case for the public money can certainly be made. Now, when it comes to the total, we've seen minimal scoring in these Titan games, and we've seen a bunch of unders in these Steelers games as well. 3 out of Pittsburgh's last 4 matchups have gone under the posted total. They also gave up just 14 points a game in their last 4. They're facing a Titans team whose games averaged just 43 total combined points in their last 2 collectively. They also held their opponents to just 16 points per contest on average in those 3. All said and done, the case for defense can certainly be made. All that in mind, I'm going to forego a play on the spread with Pittsburgh giving up a touchdown. I do think they can get the job done in a defensive struggle, though. All told, I like the Steelers winning this one outright for some expensive money line cash with the under 44.5. Next game, LA Rams at Minnesota should be a good one. 1 o'clock Eastern start this Sunday afternoon. Minnesota opened this one laying a couple with the total at an even 46. Since the betting opened up, we've seen the Vikings take most of that early money. I saw line moves from Vikings -2 down to 1.5, back up to 2, then up to 2.5. Right now, Minnesota's laying 2.5 against the spread with the total remaining at an even 46. And at the moment, the Vikings are the moneyline favorites to win this one outright. Wouldn't be completely shocked if we saw these lines actually flip. I think we're going to see a lot of action on this game. This is one of our biggest marquee matchups in the NFL season so far. After all the aforementioned line moves I just told you about, currently, the Rams are actually taking 59% of the action at the moment, so we should definitely see this number get down to 1.5 or 2, but definitely look for the lines on this game, especially the spread, to bounce around like a ping pong ball all the way up to the closing bell. Now, if you're betting sides in this one, it's really going to be tough to pick. Both of these organizations have been excellent covering the spread this year. The LA Rams against the spread have gone 6-3 overall and 4-1 on the road. Meanwhile, same exact song and dance on the Minnesota side. These Vikings against the spread have gone 6-3 overall and 4-1 at US Bank Stadium themselves. Tough to really find an edge in this one based on the trends. The Rams are 2-0 covering as the road underdog. Meanwhile, the Vikings are 3-1 covering as the home favorite. The only real discrepancy I saw was performance against opposing defenses. This Rams team has covered 2 of 4 against teams giving up less than 21 a game. Meanwhile, on the other side, Minnesota's gone just one better. They're 2-1 against the spread versus teams allowing less than 21 per contest themselves. And both teams have won and covered in their last 4 consecutive games. That's right, both organizations are on a 4-game winning streak, both outright and against the spread. All said and done, I really have no idea who's going to take this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Is this a tough one to pick, or is it a no-brainer and I'm just blinded by the trends? All right, so let's move on to the scoring in this one because I have a feeling we might be able to gather something when it comes to the total. Now, Rams games have gone 2-1 to the overs in their previous 3 before yesterday's action. The Rams are also averaging a rotund 39 points per contest in their last 3 as well. They're going up against a Vikings team whose games have seen a whole bunch of scoring themselves. Minnesota contests are 3-0 to the overs in their last trio. They're averaging 32 points of scoring per contest in those very games as well. All said and done, the case for over bettors can certainly be made. All that in mind, I'm going to forego a play on picking a winner. It's just a little too tight for me. But when it comes to the total, I think we'll have ourselves a bunch of scoring. All told, I'm gonna go ahead and take the over 46 in this one. Wow, the big finale, the big finish, and you stumble on your words. Great one, Brock. All right, next game, Washington at New Orleans. Another marquee matchup. This should be another great one in the early slate. The Saints opened this one up laying 7.5 against the spread and the total at 49.5. Since the betting opened up, no real significant movement on the spread in this one. I still got the Saints laying the 7.5, but when it comes to the total, we've seen significant movement toward the over. The total actually moved 2 full points upward. Once again, the Saints are 7.5 with the total moving upward to 51.5 points. Currently, the Saints are the favorites to win this one outright. And at the moment, just 34% of the current money's on Washington. So look for them to be catching another half a point or so by the end of business today. And if you're betting sides and you're leaning toward these Redskins, you're going to want as many points as you can get. These guys have been pretty bad against the number all year round, covering just 3 of 9 overall. They've also covered just 3 of 8 catching points and just 1 of 6 in their last 6 games. They're going up against a Saints team who's been a cash cow all year long if you're betting them. The Saints are covering nearly 80% of their games on the year with a 7-2 record against the spread overall. Most impressive, the Saints team is a perfect, unblemished 6-0 against the spread as the official Vegas favorite. They've also covered a solid 75% of their games at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They're also 2-0 covering in their games at the current posted total. I've got more. The New Orleans Saints against the spread are also 3-0 as the official home favorite and 2-0 against teams around 500. Most recently, this New Orleans team is on a 7-game win streak, all of which were games they successfully covered the spread. All said and done, I've got no real reason to think that we won't see more of the same out of this New Orleans team. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this one, we've actually seen a good amount of unders in these Saints games. 3 out of New Orleans' last 4 games have gone under the line. They also gave up just 12 points a game on average in those 4. They're going up against a Washington team who's 1-1 to the unders in their last 2 themselves. The Skins also averaged just 18 points of scoring per contest in their last 2 before yesterday's action. We might see a lot of scoring in this one, but I'm not sure we'll see 51.5 points worth. All said and done, I'm going to make a play on all 3 in this matchup. All told, I'm going to buy the hook and take New Orleans -7 and winning it outright with the under 51.5. Next and final game for the show, it is going to be Jacksonville laying 7.5 at Cleveland. Totals at 38.5. The Jags are taking 66% of the money at the moment, so look for the Brownies to be catching a few more points sometime during the week. If you like Cleveland at home in this one, you're going to need all the points Vegas will give you. Cleveland's covered just 2 of 9 overall and just 2 of 8 catching points. Cleveland's been ice cold as of late, failing to cover 3 of their last 4. They're going up against the Jags team who's been excellent against the number when traveling. Jacksonville's 4-1 against the spread on the road. The Jags are also on a 3-game winning streak, successfully covering the spread in 2 of those 3. Now, total-wise, not a whole lot of scoring in these Jacksonville games. They're 3-0 to the unders in their last 3. They're giving up 8 points a game in those contests. Meanwhile, before yesterday's action, Cleveland averaged just 14 points per contest in their last 3 themselves. We got ourselves a really low total, and I don't think we'll get there, to be honest with you. All that in mind, I'm going to make another play on all 3 in this one. All told, I'm going to buy the hook and take Jacksonville -7, Jacksonville money line under 38.5. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. Once again, I'm going to have 1 o'clock slate games, some more of those early games coming out later in the week. We're also going to have late games, the 4 o'clock slate, Sunday night and Monday night primetime. So be on the lookout for those videos coming out later in the week. But before I get out of here today, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. If for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page Productions, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.